So today we're going to be talking about local hazards in sailing. Safety is the most important thing when we're sailing because there are many varying factors in the sport that can be dangerous for you guys, so we want to learn how to identify those and prevent them as much as possible. So you can see here we can group the hazards into three basic categories. The first one is land and facility hazards, the second one is equipment hazards, and the last one is water and environment hazards. So you guys each have your pictures that I've given you, and you're each going to look at the pictures you've been given and tell me what the hazard is, and then you're going to tell me which category you think it might fall under, and then you're going to consider some ideas about how you're going to prevent those hazards, any danger from them. Alright, so Gordy, do you want to give me a picture?
Yeah, sure. So I have one, there seems to be a collision on the water, and I'd have to say that that would be water and environment hazards from what I know. And I think to avoid this, you'd have to make sure you know who's right of way, so who's starboard and who's port, and make sure that you avoid collisions at all costs.
Alright, thank you very much. So put that under water hazards. And so larger vessels. Oh wait, no, sorry, this is other athletes that you might run into. So in order to avoid this one, what we want to do is you want to keep a lookout. Lookout, and you're also going to want to call right away early. And also avoid collision if possible. Okay, Bellamy, do you want to give me an image?
Alright, so right here we have a caution when slippery wet sign. I think this, at first glimpse, I think this relates to water, but I'm going to have to go with land and facility hazards. To prevent this, we could pop up some of those caution signs when slippery, when wet, put them up on the wet spot, and people will be avoiding the wet spots and walking around them.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So wet grounds, we'll say. And we'll say to avoid this, caution signs. And also maybe try not to run too fast when you're encountering those wet areas. Just to avoid injury. Okay, Cam, do you want to show your picture?
Yeah, right here I got a picture of a frayed line. This is probably an equipment hazard, I guess. And to avoid it, probably just check your lines before you go out,
Yeah, I would say don't launch your boat before you've checked all your equipment, and just let me know if you see anything that could be a hazard, just like frayed lines. And this also goes for any other equipment like broken cleats or rudder retainer clips as well. So frayed lines, broken cleats, broken rudder pins. So to avoid this, don't launch your boat. And let me know before you do. Alright, Graham, do you have a picture?
Yeah, I got some strong winds here, and I guess what you want to do is you want to check the weather in order to get rid of strong winds because it would be a water and environment hazard. So you want to like check the weather and yeah, don't sail if it's going to be strong winds.
Yeah, for sure. You also make sure you stay with the instructor. And also, when it's strong winds, you want to make sure that your life jacket is on properly and secured, just in case. So we got strong winds and waves. So to avoid this, stay with instructor. And like you said, check the winds before you go out. And we'll also say life jacket for sure. Alright, Gordy, do you have another image?
Yeah, so I got one of what appears to be a bunch of rocky shoals, and I think the main way to, it's a water and environment hazard, and I think the main way to avoid this would be to familiarly stick with your instructor and ensure you're looking around your vessel.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say if you do happen to encounter shoals and it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to avoid them, then pull up the centerboard if you can, just to avoid any damages. So we got shoals, shallow waters. And so to avoid that, look out. Stay with the group. And centerboard up if needed. Alright, Cam, do you have another one?
Yeah, right here we have a no boats buoy. Basically, to avoid this kind of thing, you'd want to stay clear of this kind of buoy and pay close attention to where you're headed towards.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a water and environment hazard.
Yeah. And just like the other ones, stay with me, stay with the instructor, and with the group. So here we got. Alright, Cam, do you have another one?
Yeah, here we got some broken glass on land. Obviously, that's a land and facility hazard. Best bet to avoid it is probably check where you're launching your boat. You know, look at the ground, make sure you're not stepping on anything.
Yeah, for sure. The other big thing is make sure you're always wearing closed-toed shoes, because we don't want any cuts on your feet, for sure. So we got sharp objects on the ground. So, like you said, Cam, watch where you're launching your boat. And closed-toed shoes. Alright, Graham, do you have another one?
Yeah, I got some broken planks here, and I guess the way you could avoid these would be to, I guess, fix your broken planks and also check where you're walking.
Yeah, just keep a lookout and just let the instructor know if you see anything hazardous like that. And also don't run on the docks
Oh yeah.
as well. And that goes for if you see any broken cleats or anything like that as well. So broken docks, to avoid that, don't run. And let the instructor know so that we can fix it. Alright, Gordy, you have another one?
Yeah, so this next one appears to be some frayed wiring on these rocks here, and I think that would be a land and facility hazard. And I think the way to avoid this would be to maintain the environment around you and make sure that everything's clear when you're launching your boat.
Yeah, same thing for this one basically. Just don't touch any wiring that you see, especially if it's exposed like this one, and also especially if it's near any wet areas. So just steer clear of that and let the instructor know if it looks dangerous. So we got open wiring or wet areas. And so don't touch it. Let instructor know. Alright, is that the last of them?
I got one more.
Oh, Cam's got one more.
So this appears to be some sort of collision. I guess it'd be water and environment hazards. Watch out for bigger boats.
Yep, for sure. So this one's pretty similar to the first one we had there. So we just want to make sure that you're keeping a lookout and stay with the instructor as well. Don't stray too far from the group. So we got larger vessels. Stay with group and keep a lookout. Alright, so here we got about 10 different hazards in the 3 categories: land and facility, equipment, and water and environment hazards. So keep these hazards in mind throughout the camp and follow the ways that we mentioned in order to prevent them so we don't have any injuries or damages or anything like that.